Hi everyone, it's Dr. Naza back again with another YouTube video. In today's video, I am going to be addressing the big elephant in the room, bedside shift report. Yep. I used to be one of those people that did not understand how critical it was, and now I do. And I want to implore everyone to do the same. Bedside shift report is not the tyrant that people often make it seem like it is, but it is actually something that helps a nurse and also helps the patient navigate through the shift. I can't count how many times incidents that could have been avoided, have impacted patients and nurses and their licenses because bedside shift report was not done. Many times we take the words of, the ongoing shift nurse, and that's not okay. The most times when things go wrong, it's usually during bedside shift report, or rather during shift change. Because there's that 1 hour, 30 minutes where there's lots of chaos. And I promise you that's when the call lights go up. Everything is going crazy. People are overstimulated. Some people just want to go home, and some people just want to start. And then everyone is just trying to understand, what's going on, and are not actually paying attention to the reason why they are there, the patients. Many times we've had things go wrong during shift change because no one was paying attention to the patient. So bedside shift report is something that should not be taken lightly at all. There's so many times we see nurses say, "Oh, I'm just hanging a saline bag over there." And in reality, it's not a saline bag. It could be LR, which maybe that's okay, but it could be KCL. How do you want to explain that? Imagine mid-shift, then your patient is suddenly going off tangent and you can't figure it out, and maybe then someone catches, "Oh, it's not saline." How do you explain that you did not see that? That just simply says, "No, I have never gone into this patient's room." You might even go in there to give other oral medications and you don't pay attention to that bag because you already have in your mind that it's normal saline, whereas it's not. And it's something, more serious than that. And then things could get really fatal if you have to put an IV, an IV push, and then you find out that you just put something that was not compatible with KCL, thinking that it was normal saline. And all of that could have just been avoided if you went into the room during shift report to trace the lines with the with the nurse that just left. There's so many times you hear people say, "Oh, they have a drain or a peg tube or whatever," and many times we have new nurses or even seasoned nurses that just have not worked with like drains like that before, and they're stranded mid-shift, and are trying to scramble to find how to put a medication or drain something out. And then you can't do it because all you had to do was go in there in the morning or in the night when you were taking over and see what was going on with the patient or see what drain it was, and get yourself used to how to do it. But now you did not do that. Now you're gonna have to deal with that mid-shift. It could be an infiltrated IV line. Something as simple as that could have been found out during nurse shift report, bedside shift report. And at that moment, you could have easily told the night shift nurse or the day shift nurse, "Hey, can you fix that IV before you leave?" That's one less thing to worry about during your shift. Or if you're gracious enough, you can do it during your shift, but at least you know that there's an infiltrated line. You can save yourself so much trouble by just going in there to see what's going on with the patient. A patient that was the least sick as 2 seconds ago could be the most sick person right now. And it's a reality, it's a fact. And I just think you're doing yourself a disservice, both to yourself and to your license and to the patient, when you do not do bedside shift report with them. It is very, very important. And funny enough, when you do bedside shift, you actually set expectations. It's the time to say, "Hey, I'm going to be leaving to see my other patients. What can I do for you before I go? Or what can I do before I come back in here? Or I won't be back for another 30 minutes. That way you don't have unnecessary call lights going off. Your phone is not buzzing and, overstimulating you even before your shift is started. You can easily arrange things for yourself and your patients. And that way it sets a nice tone to the rest of your shift. And you feel much more in control. Don't get me wrong, sporadic things can happen, spontaneous things can happen. But it can be prevented if you should do what you're supposed to do. And then the most important thing that comes to mind is these patients deserve to be a part of their care. So when you're taking that autonomy away from them, then you're being unfair. and you're doing a disservice to the profession of nursing. It could be you, it could be your family, it could be anybody in that bed. But the least you can do for them is to be present and let them know exactly what is going on before each shift starts. You give them the opportunity to chime in. Sometimes some patients don't care, but there are some that do, as they should rightly do, and you should support that. So stop looking at bedside shift like the monster that it is not, and look at it like something that is there to give you peace of mind and to also keep your patient, feeling a little more comfortable than they usually would feel. And know some people don't like to go into contact rooms because, you're trying to do cluster care, but that doesn't help. Having COVID is already tough as is. And then not having someone come in there to just as little as let them know what's going on, that is unfair. And that's the truth. It is very unfair. So please take the extra step. It's not easy, I understand, but take the extra step to go into each patient's room every morning or night before handoff, introduce yourself, and let them know exactly what the plan is together with the nurse that just finished care. I would love to make more videos like this. And if you like more videos like this, don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to Rise RN. Have a lovely week. Bye.